The Beauty Season 1 Episode 6. Episode 6 opens with an immediate sense of unease, as the calm of the previous episodes disappears. From the very first scene, it is clear that the stakes are higher than ever, and every character is walking on a knife's edge. The episode begins by showing the aftermath of the last confrontation, where relationships have already been strained, and the tension is palpable. The main characters are dealing with the consequences of past choices, and the cracks in their friendships and alliances are now fully exposed. As the episode unfolds, small actions that seemed insignificant in earlier episodes suddenly gain meaning. Every glance, every whispered conversation, and every hesitation carries weight. The writers have built a web of secrets that is now unraveling in front of us, and it feels like no one is safe from the truth. Early in the episode, we see Patient Zero taking a more central role. Their behavior is mysterious, unpredictable, and, at times, alarming. While previous episodes teased their power and influence, here it is on full display. The tension around this character is thick, as their actions seem to manipulate events and people around them with precision. We also see characters who were once confident and in control start to falter. Some make decisions that show their vulnerability, while others act out of fear or desperation. The writers emphasize how quickly the dynamics shift in this group, and it's fascinating to watch. By showing both the strengths and weaknesses of the characters, the episode sets the stage for a climax that feels inevitable but also shocking. Meanwhile, the episode carefully builds tension by revisiting past events through subtle reminders and callbacks. These moments force viewers to connect the dots and understand how previous choices influence the present. Scenes that might have seemed trivial before are now crucial, highlighting the careful planning behind the story. As secrets are slowly exposed, it becomes clear that nothing is accidental. The script creates a sense of inevitability, where the audience feels the looming confrontation before it actually happens. This is one of the strengths of the episode. It keeps viewers engaged by letting them anticipate what will happen next while constantly subverting their expectations. The tension is not just in action, but in the very conversations the characters have, filled with hidden meanings and unspoken threats. The episode also balances the tension with emotional depth. Characters confront not just each other, but their own fears, regrets, and desires. Some scenes focus on the psychological struggle within individuals, showing how the pressure of the situation forces them to face parts of themselves they have long ignored. These moments are often quieter than the more dramatic confrontations, but they are equally important. They provide insight into motivation and make the stakes feel personal. By giving attention to inner conflict, the episode avoids feeling like a simple thriller and becomes a story about human complexity. Under extreme pressure, as the first half of the episode progresses, it becomes clear that these psychological layers are crucial for understanding the finale. The audience starts piecing together how each character's choices, fears, and hidden agendas will collide in the climax. As the episode progresses, the tension escalates in ways that feel both unexpected and inevitable. Every character seems to be reaching a breaking point, and the cracks in their relationships widen with every passing moment. Arguments flare over small misunderstandings, but beneath the surface, much deeper betrayals are at play. One of the most striking aspects of this episode is how the characters' hidden motives begin to collide. Alliances that seemed unbreakable start to crumble as secrets are exposed. The writers carefully pace the drama, letting the audience feel the anxiety and uncertainty that grips each character. What was once a controlled environment now feels chaotic, and the fear that someone might be manipulating events behind the scenes grows stronger. The confrontations in this episode are not just physical, but emotional and psychological. Characters accuse each other of past mistakes, while some struggle to defend themselves against truths they can no longer deny. The tension is heightened by the way the story layers suspense, dropping hints that suggest there is more than meets the eye. Patient Zero's presence looms over every interaction, even when they are not in the scene. The fear of what they might do next influences the choices of every other character. This invisible pressure creates a sense of dread, making the audience question who will emerge unscathed and who will fall victim to the unfolding chaos. Every conversation feels like a game of strategy, where a single wrong word could ignite disaster. At the center of the episode, the stakes reach their highest when two major characters come face to face in a confrontation. That changes everything. Their exchange is charged with tension, anger, and unspoken truths. Long-standing grudges are brought to light, and the audience finally understands the weight of decisions made in previous episodes. What makes this confrontation particularly compelling is how it combines personal conflict with broader plot implications. The outcome affects not only these two characters, but also the trajectory of everyone else in the story. This moment is a turning point that sets the stage for the shocking revelations later in the episode, and the way it is written keeps viewers on edge, anticipating what comes next. Simultaneously, the episode masterfully uses misdirection to keep the audience guessing. At times, it appears that one character is in control, only for the narrative to reveal another layer of manipulation. These twists are carefully placed so that the drama feels earned rather than forced. Observant viewers may notice subtle foreshadowing in dialogue, gestures, or lingering looks that hint at what will happen, but the execution still manages to surprise. The complexity of these interactions reinforces the idea that no one is entirely trustworthy, and the tension is compounded by the uncertainty of who is genuinely acting out of loyalty and who is pursuing a hidden agenda. In addition to personal confrontations, the episode introduces external pressures that intensify the drama. Unexpected events, whether accidents, discoveries, or mysterious communications, force the characters to react quickly. These moments disrupt any sense of stability and push characters into decisions that reveal their true nature. Some respond with courage and ingenuity, while others panic, make mistakes, or betray those closest to them. This constant shifting of power and control keeps the story dynamic, ensuring that the audience remains deeply engaged. Every scene builds upon the last, creating a rising tide of tension that feels unstoppable. By the midpoint of the episode, it becomes clear that the climax is approaching, and every action, every choice, and every secret will have consequences that cannot be undone. The tension reaches its peak as the episode moves toward its climax, and it feels like every secret that has been carefully hidden throughout the season is now threatening to explode. The atmosphere is thick with suspicion, fear, and anticipation. Characters who once seemed confident and in control are now cornered, forced to confront the consequences of their choices. Every decision in this episode carries weight, and the writers make it clear that even a small misstep could change everything. This is the moment when all the emotional, psychological, and narrative threads woven throughout the season collide, and the stakes could not be higher. One of the most intense elements of this climax is how the episode flips expectations. Just when it seems that a character has the upper hand, an unexpected revelation shifts the balance. Long-standing assumptions about loyalty, morality, and motivation are challenged, leaving both the characters and the audience reeling. Patient Zero's true intentions are revealed in a way that is both shocking and disturbing, reshaping the understanding of everything that has happened before. This revelation forces other characters into immediate action, and their responses reveal the deepest parts of their personalities, their fears, their resilience, and their capacity for betrayal or forgiveness. It is a moment that tests every character and reshapes the dynamics of the entire story. At the same time, the climax highlights the emotional stakes in ways that go beyond simple plot twists. Relationships that have been strained or broken throughout the season are finally confronted head-on. Characters express long-suppressed feelings, confess truths, or lash out in anger, leading to confrontations that are as much about emotional release as they are about advancing the plot. The episode carefully balances these personal moments with high-stakes tension, making it clear that the choices being made now will have lasting consequences. The audience is forced to feel for the characters, understanding that even mistakes or acts of desperation have human motivations behind them. This duality between action and emotion creates a depth that makes the climax compelling and me.